Rev your engines and fasten your seatbelts. It's time for Thunder Talk with Dan Bailey, keeping you up to date on everything going on this season at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Now, here's your host, Dan Bailey.
Hey, race fans, after a week off, welcome to another edition of Thunder Talk. I'm Dan Bailey. You know, in the weeks past, I've made a huge point of talking about first-time winners and special events at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Well, this week on Thunder Talk, we've got both topics to talk about because this Friday night at MTS, it's the $1,000 to win USRA Late Model Special presented by RJ's Fast Tracks and Two Brothers Auto as part of MTS Free County Fans Night number 5. Race fans who reside in either Eau Claire County, Wisconsin, Pepin County, Wisconsin, Goodhue County, Minnesota, Wabasha County, Minnesota, Chickasaw County, Iowa, or Howard County, Iowa, get into the grandstands absolutely free. Just bring proof of residence, such as your driver's license, and you can enjoy the $1,000 to win USRA Late Model Special, along with the action provided by all the other divisions this Friday night at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Since we're talking about those USRA Late Models, we can segue directly into this week's guest, another first-time feature winner, USRA Late Model driver, Derek Nelson. Derek, first of all, welcome to this week's edition of Thunder Talk.
Thank you.
Derek, you have been driving the number 11X USRA Late Model at Mississippi Thunder Speedway for a few years now. But last weekend, everything changed for you, didn't it? With a trip up to Cedar Lake Speedway, your very first time in Victory Lane. Congratulations on the big win, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. It was definitely nice to have some success.
Tell us about your emotions, what it felt like when you were finally able to climb out of the interior of that late model and celebrate down there in Victory Lane.
It was pretty exciting to be able to pick up a win like that. I guess the biggest thing was I felt that I had been struggling for a while here in this class. I'm sure a lot of people remember how my season ended last year when the car was kind of up in flames there, so it's been a lot of hours spent this off-season getting that same car back into racing shape, I guess. It was definitely a good feeling to get it in Victory Lane.
You get that very first feature win at Cedar Lake Speedway, but of course at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, where we get to watch you on a regular basis, I would say you're not having a bad 2020 season. You're in the top 5 in the point standings. You've got a couple of top 5 feature finishes. Every single one of your starts has produced a top 10 finish. So even though that first feature win comes up at Cedar Lake, not at your quote-unquote home track of Mississippi Thunder Speedway, how would you consider the 2020 season, considering how, as you just mentioned, last year ended? Are you satisfied with how 2020 has been going for you?
Yeah, I guess it hasn't been too bad. It's nice not to be wrecking any equipment. It's not very much fun working on the car every week. I guess the season's been all right that way. I guess as of lately, I feel like we've made some strides with getting the car to work a little bit better, and I hope to be able to have some better finishes to end the years.
You know, on the radio here, there might be some listeners who really aren't familiar with Derek Nelson, and I think you have an absolutely fascinating story to tell about how you got behind the wheel of the stock car. Let's start with that. Not how you got involved with racing from a child to an adult, but a little bit different than most folks. Give us the story of your very first stock car driving experience.
Well, I guess it just kind of started from being good friends with Lance for a lot of years, and when the late model class started, he kind of accumulated a second car after a couple of years, and his dad actually ran his second car a little bit there, and he just kind of approached me one day and kind of gave me the opportunity to try it out. It was kind of a shock to me, considering I haven't had any racing experience, other than helping him in the pits and stuff, but I had never driven any other car to start out in, so it was kind of a learning curve to just hop in a late model right away,
We get to see a lot of youngsters get started, on go-karts or driving slingshots, or even grown-ups getting started in Hornets or B-mods or street stocks or hobby stocks. He just threw you right in amongst the wolves and said, here, drive my second late model. When you were first getting started, was it overwhelming? Was it more difficult than you thought it might be? What was it like first becoming a driver in the late model?
I guess it was a lot of nerves at first, for sure, not knowing what really to expect. I guess it wasn't quite as difficult as I had expected. I mean, it's definitely not easy either. There's a ton of stuff to learn about setting them cars up, so I guess to me that was the biggest thing, to try to learn a lot of that stuff, and I'm definitely still learning more. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about them cars get to this day. So there are times where it's difficult. I definitely feel like some people make it look a lot easier. When you're sitting in the stands and you see some of them guys running up front and they consistently do it, they make it look easy, but it's definitely challenging. And I guess that's one thing that makes, having a little success be a little more rewarding because of all the time and energy put into getting the car ready and learning how to drive the car.
So our discussion has come full circle. You started talking about the success that you're enjoying now based on the feature win that you picked up last weekend at Cedar Lake Speedway. So in your mind, what do you think it will take to transfer that success from Cedar Lake to Mississippi Thunder Speedway? I think you've shown through the years that you can be a competitor amongst the best of the best at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. But what's that one last ingredient needed to get you from running with the leaders to beating the leaders and ending up in Mississippi Thunder Speedway's victory lane?
I'm hoping that where we're at with the car, I'm hoping that it's a little bit better. I actually have not raced it at Mississippi Thunder Speedway yet after making some changes that we did a couple weeks back here. I guess we'll find out if it's helps me be a little more competitive. I guess, making the redraw is a kind of a big thing. So, if I have a good run in a heat race, as long as I can make the redraw, that definitely helps, and you can start up towards the front rather than trying to work your way through the field.
I saw a lot of photos on social media, and everybody around you, they all looked like they were on cloud nine and so happy for you. But we all know that there is another group involved in racing, and those are sponsors, people who have been supporting Derek Nelson, through your driving career. Give us a list of sponsors on that number 11X for the 2020 season.
Yeah, I definitely got to thank these guys. There's no way this would be possible without them. I mean, we got CFR, Midwest Repair, Buffalo Saloon, Ostfeld Manufacturing, Blowright Pipe and Sewer, Soybert Calf Ranches, Miller Ingenuity, Fagan's Auto Fix-It, Cochran Auto Service, and Victory Promotions.
So they all get to celebrate that very first feature win with you, and I'm sure that they are just as pleased as everybody else I saw in all the other pictures who were celebrating with you about that first feature win last weekend at Cedar Lake Speedway. Let's jump back to Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Are you the type of individual who likes to focus in on the point standings? I mean, I'm looking at where the USRA late model point standings are right now at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. As I said earlier, you're in the top 5. You're actually 5th in the point standings. You're about 14 points behind the driver in 4th, who is Triton Krause, and then just a little bit more separation to the top 3. Do you follow those points religiously? Is that something that you like to check in on every week, or do you just wait until the season is done and kind of find out where you are?
I guess I've maybe looked once or twice throughout the season so far. It's really not nothing that's in the back of my mind, I guess. I'm shooting for just consistent finishes. Obviously Herbie wants to win, so that's kind of the main goal as far as the points go. Definitely nice to be able to finish up in the top in the points there, but it's not something I'm too concerned about.
Top 5 would be a good way to wrap up this wild and woolly, super crazy 2020 season, and to be able to also know that it was the year when you picked up your very first feature win, I think is going to make it a memorable season for you and that number 11 machine in the Centerville Welding and Repair USRA Late Model Division at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. So Derek, again, on behalf of all of us who are enjoying Thunder Talk, we want to say congratulations on that very first feature win last weekend, and we wish you the best of luck and hope that maybe you can transfer that to a feature win yet before the season is done at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Derek Nelson, driver of the number 11, thanks very much for joining us this week on Thunder Talk.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, don't forget, this Friday night, USRA Late Model Special presented by RJ's Fast Tracks and Two Brothers Auto. 1,000 to win at least. They've even got some more donations coming in that are going to push that winner's share up a little bit more. Also, MTS Free County Fans Night number 5. All the information can be found online at the official Mississippi Thunder Speedway website, MississippiThunder.com.
That was Thunder Talk, keeping you up to date on everything going on at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
You ever notice that when you're on a fishing trip, you drive your boat all the way to the other side of the lake because you think that's where the best fishing is? And the people staying at the cabins on that side of the lake, well, they come and fish where your cabin is. You don't have to drive a long ways to catch the big fish. And at Arcadia Motors, you don't have to drive a long ways to get the best deal on a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram truck. The best deals are right in the bay next to your cabin. Take the short, scenic drive to Arcadia Motors. ArcadiaDodge.com.